by the power of Grayskull.
That's a big Twinkie.
Welcome to another episode of the Zero Box Price Podcast, the podcast that serves you 3 scoops of pop culture and nutritional, fun-filled energy, stamina. We're giving you everything. We are giving you everything. And I'm here with my other host, the man with the master plan, the ghost with the most. Here he is one more time for everybody out there. My buddy, Aaron Smelter. Aaron.
I love it, man. I love your intros. and Steve's bringing all the energy. I just woke up. So Steve's got all the energy. He's got, I don't know what the hell he's on. He's on the Sugar Smack cereal or something, because man, I wish I could take a tenth of his energy right now, because I am exhausted.
For those listening right now, Aaron just woke up like 30 minutes ago, and now we're jumping on this podcast. And the funny thing about it is that we usually do these on Friday nights, and I was out of it from working, and just our schedules are all over the place. So like, it's Monday, and we're recording this right now in the afternoon, and we got 45 minutes to do this show, but we're gonna do it because we love you guys and we want to get something out there. So Aaron, how's everything with you, man?
It's good, man. It's good. My family's healthy. Everybody's good. Glad to see the numbers going down. Excited, that they announced that the flea market's opening up early. So everything's good. Everything's great.
Oh man, I cannot wait for the flea market to open up. The hunting begins all over again. Everybody get your Elmer Fudd hats on, because we are definitely going hunting.
Be careful, Steve. Be careful. You might get canceled. Don't get canceled. I know we're going to talk about it later, but
Oh God, yeah, we will talk about cancel culture. There's a lot going on in the entertainment world right now. But we're gonna get into that, man. But before we get into that, man, Aaron, I just want to tell you that I beat this morning on the PS5 the Spider-Man game, Miles Morales, and wow, what a great epic game. This was like my first time actually dabbling with the PS5, and it took me 2 days to beat, but it was an awesome game. And Aaron, I don't know, did you play the original Spider-Man game?
I played the one on like the PlayStation 2. I mean, that's kind of like how far back I'm going. I played like a Spider-Man game. I haven't played any of the newer ones on the newer consoles, but I heard that they're fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. The graphics are great. The storyline to this game with Miles Morales is amazing. And if you guys haven't played it, man, and I understand that the PS5s, it's a hard thing to come by. My little brother got lucky and picked one up, but you can also get it on the PS4. So I recommend people to check that out, play that game. So I did that this morning. And speaking of, we always start the show with our pickups. So let me tell you what I picked up. I had a 25% off Target Circle app certificate coupon, and I went to my local Target, and I'm going down the Star Wars aisle. Obviously there's no Star Wars figures, as always. Same thing with Marvel Legends. There's pretty much nothing there, bare to the bones. I did find miraculously there was a Baxter Stockman 2-pack there from Neca. I couldn't believe it, because Aaron, you've been helping me out on those, man.
Yeah, they're hard to find. I still have not seen the what is it, the Rat King and Vern?
Yeah,
2-pack. I have not seen those at all.
Yeah, I haven't seen those either, man. But funny story is that, so I'm walking down the aisle and I see this guy, and I can tell right away he's a scalper, because he has all the Masters of the Universe Origins inside of his cart, a couple of Transformers, a couple of Star Wars, and he just has it filled to the brim. And I'm like, okay. I see a She-Ra. I wanted to pick up a She-Ra. So I asked him, I'm like, hey, man, are you going to grab all of those? And he's like, if you want it, just give me an extra $7-8. And I was like, wait a minute. So you're scalping me in the store. You want me to give you $7-8 for the figure that you have in your cart right now. So I'm about to pay $22-23 when the figure's like $15. And you want me to give you an extra $7-8 for it? Like, it's gotten to the point where people are doing this. Like, you want me to give you money for the figure that you have in the store right now? It is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's insane. And I probably would have just been like, hey, I probably would have went to management. I would have pulled a Karen. I would have been like, hey, this dude's trying to sell stuff from his cart in your store. Like, you know, I understand, like, if it's in his cart, that's fine. But, like, you know, he's trying to sell stuff in his cart in your store. You should probably go talk to this guy. That is just insane. I mean, the whole community, it's almost like a virus, you know, the scalping culture is like a virus in the toy collecting community, you know, and because, you know, I've said it before in the podcast, because we don't have a KB Toys, because we don't have a Toys R Us, because we don't have these standalone toy stores anymore, and they're, you know, you can only find it at Target or Walmart or Walgreens or whatever, you know, I think that's causing a lot of these distribution issues and these issues in general, because, you know, you can't just walk into a toy store and get the toys. And even then, you know, sometimes there was hard to find stuff, which I understand. But, like, at least you could be like, okay, look, I'm going to go to Toys R Us today and look for toys. You know, it's getting to the point now where people are just clearing the shelves. And, you know, I felt bad. There was a little kid at Target yesterday, and he's looking around, and he, like, the stuff is bare. You know, he's getting a figure that he really doesn't want, because that's the only thing there, you know?
Wow. Yeah, that is sad, man. And you know, I miss Toys R Us, man, at least having a dedicated toy store where you can find everything, because nowadays we're all just running around like chickens with our head cuts off, just trying to find some of these toys, man. Yeah. And it's getting to the point where, like, if you're having somebody telling you, give me money to get this out of my cart, that's when you know that the state of toy collecting is just like out of control. And not just toys, just everything in general is just going up. People are like, oh, and don't get me started with the Pokemon trading cards, because I just saw a guy literally 2 weeks ago go into Target and buy like a whole box of just Pokemon cards, like the whole box. Like, and the poor teenage kid was just putting them out, and he's like, just give me the whole box. So, like, I don't know, man. Like, we're getting to this point where, like, it's almost like we're mindless zombies.
Yeah,
like,
well, everybody's just selfish. That's all it is.
Oh my god. But yeah, so I picked up She-Ra. She's here with some of my Masters of the Universe Origins figures. I haven't seen any of the Wave 2, which is like Oracle, Scareglow. Haven't found any of those yet, but we'll see. But Aaron, have you picked up any toys or anything?
Yeah, I guess the most recent like in-store purchases that I found the new Kenner Marvel Legends set. They're like the 3 3/4 inch Marvel figures.
Nice.
They're really nice. So I was able to find a few of them. You know, they've been hitting shelves kind of, you know, sparingly here and there. So I ended up getting a Hulk, Magneto. I got Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. I got Elektra and Iceman. The package art is really cool because it's almost like that retro package art. And, you know, they're 3 3/4 inch, you know, so they're a little bit smaller. But I think, like, you know, the package art is really what sells it on those figures. I don't know if you've seen those at all in your stores yet.
Yeah, actually, was there a Magneto that was released, actually? I think I saw a Magneto. Yeah. I bumped into one of those at Target. Yeah, the 3 3/4 inch. It looks pretty cool, man. Like, you know what? You know, it's funny because I think I mentioned this in one of the other podcasts, but the only line of figures that they haven't done 3 3/4 inch are Ghostbusters for some reason. Like, you know, G.I. Joe has them. Like, there's a lot of, like, 3 3/4, like, you know, because you want to fit some of these figures into vehicles. But, like, I know that a lot of Ghostbuster fans, when they get their Ghostbuster figures, like, especially the new ones, they want them to fit in like these Ecto ones or like the vehicles coming out now. But the problem is like, Hasbro isn't gonna make a huge vehicle just to fit, these 12-inch figures or 8-inch figures in them. Like, it's just too big, like, to build.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the new Ecto one that was just released, there was the kind of a rumor, the Ghostbusters Afterlife Ecto one that they just released a couple months ago, maybe 2 months ago. It fits 3 3/4 inch perfectly. Like, I guess somebody took a 3 3/4 inch like Star Wars figure or G.I. Joe figure or something and put it inside the Ecto one, and it fit perfectly. So it's kind of like, are they finally going to do a 3 3/4 inch line for Ghostbusters? Who knows? But the figures do fit nicely, so we'll see. But I mean, like, even like the old Ecto one, the original Ecto one, which I heard that they're going to be, it's going to be hitting shelves later this year. That one, at least it wasn't 3 3/4 inch, but it was what, 5 inch figures. I don't know.
Yeah.
The original real Ghostbusters figures, you could fit your your 2 characters in the front seat, of that one.
Yeah. It's funny, man. That's a great segue right now that we're talking about, the re-release of the Ecto 1. So let's get into some toy news, man, because there's some stuff going on over here in the toy world. So Hasbro is having on March 15, they're having their Hasbro almost like a re-release, not re-release, but almost like a release date of their upcoming lines that are coming up. And I know that Ghostbusters is one of them. I think G.I. Joe is one of them. But the Ecto 1 is being re-released again, the original Ecto 1. And I think it's going to go for like $50. Along with the Ecto 1, they're re-releasing the Fearsome Flush Ghost, that little toilet seat guy with the tongue coming out of the toilet. I would hate to be the person to sit on that toilet. Talking about a douche, huh? Ooh, is there a little tongue down there? Yeah, but so we got Fearsome Flush and we got the Bug-Eye Ghost coming out. But and for those that haven't seen the Bug-Eye Ghost, that big purple ghost with a huge eyeball in the middle. And then when you squeeze it, the eyeball pops out. But apparently they had to redesign the re-release figure just so that kids don't get hurt with the whole string thing. Yeah.
I mean, that just goes back to, how the 80s, we had some toys that we probably shouldn't have had. But at the same time, like, it's a toy, like, I mean, I remember having the Bug-Eye Ghost, the original Bug-Eye Ghost, and, popping it. And, I mean, hell, like, there were so many other things that freaking popped out or shot out or whatever. And it's like, it's a toy. It's supposed to be fun, but I feel like now it's like, everything is, you got to be safe, you got to, nobody wants to get sued and all this other crap. And, it's just, to me, it's just, you gotta stop at some point.
Yeah. I mean, like, that all started with the rocket firing Boba Fett. Apparently some kid died.
Well, I mean, like, that was that. I mean, I can understand that. That happened because, it wasn't the rocket firing Boba Fett. It was the Battlestar Galactica ship, and it had a firing missile on the front. And some older brother shot it at his younger brother, and it went in his throat. I can't remember if the kid did pass away, but he choked on it, and I think they so if you have a Battlestar Galactica ship that worth a lot more, because then they recalled all those toys and re-released it so that the missile didn't fire, and that in turn changed the rocket firing Boba Fett.
Can you imagine like some bank robber just holding up a bank? Everybody step back. I got a Battlestar Galactica firing.
I can understand that one because somebody did get hurt, but at the same time, like, how many people got hurt from an eyeball from a ghost? I mean, that maybe shoots out at, like, I don't know, 10 miles an hour. You know what I mean? Like, I popped that thing at, my parents. I popped it at, like, I mean, like, it doesn't hurt. It's like, if anything, it's just annoying, but it's just like, I just don't get it. That to me, kind of just rubs me the wrong way, where they're like, oh, we're going to re-release this, but it has to be safe. It's like the
Yeah.
eyeball's going to be like a foam instead of a hard plastic. It's like, come on.
Yeah, man. It's like, listen, and first of all, it doesn't have to be safe, because you know who's gonna be buying these? Us.
Adults. And they're not going to come
Adults.
out of the package.
Yeah, they're not gonna come out of the package. I'm gonna be the one buying it. I'm a 39-year-old man, buying, action figures from the 80s. So it's not gonna be no kid buying these. These are catered to us. You don't have to make it safe for us. Oh, right. Aaron, I just hit myself in the eye with the bug eye ghost. Oh man, but yeah. So we got that coming up from Kenner. I know they have some GI Joe figures. Anyways. They're gonna do a whole reveal online, so look out for that. Hasbro is, killing it, and they're trying to make money off old properties. And again, like, it's gonna be people like us that are gonna be buying it. And also, speaking of figures, man, I want to talk about NECA right now, because Aaron, did you see the Ninja Turtles in Disguise pack that's gonna be coming out?
Yeah, I did see that. I thought that was pretty neat.
Okay, so I started dabbling, collecting the NECA cartoon turtle figures. I used to stay just with the movie figures, but I got the Krang now, I got the Metalhead, and then you ended up picking me up the Baxter Stockman and Splinter 2-pack. Yeah. And when I saw this, because I don't have the cartoon turtles, so this is the Turtles in Disguise. It's going to be a big pack. It comes with all 4 of them. I do think that the baby masks, they look kind of scary and kind of weird in a way. Well, yeah. But I'm not going to display them with the mask on. Now, the pants come off. That sounds a little bit too kinky. Ooh, Raphael, I'm about to take the pants off. So I will be displaying my turtles with their pants off. But it's cool, man, because if you didn't get the original line of the Turtles when they came out, the NECA cartoons, like, you can get them all in one pack, and I think it's gonna go retail for $100. Of course, it's gonna be one of those Target exclusive things, and good luck to everybody trying to find these, man, because I'm gonna say this: if it's going for 100 and scalpers are gonna try to grab these, you best believe they're gonna put these up on eBay for like $200 to $300. Yeah. So
I still, I wish NECA would go back to what they did with Tokka and Razar. Like, why can't they stick with that modeling plan of, for the fans, that they talked about before? Well, I remember when COVID hit, they were like, we're going to stop the scalpers, we're going to stop the bots, we're going to do all this stuff. But yet they're still doing these Target exclusives or this bullshit. And it's like, put it on the website, let people pre-order it like they did before, give a 2-week window for pre-orders, and let people pre-order it.
Yeah, I mean, they did that, like you said, with the Tokka and Razar, and that was awesome. I did that with the Casey Jones and Raphael in Disguise, like 2-pack, and it's just awesome, and it's so much easier. I till this day, I still don't understand why, like, Hasbro and NECA and like, it's all these exclusives, and it's like, look, I want to give you my money. Here's my $50. Like, I'll give you my money. But if I can't find this stuff, then, what's the point? And then sometimes, I hate to say it, but you get desperate, and in desperate times, call for desperate measures, which is buying something off a scalper. And you don't want to do it, but, like, what choice do we have? Like, we have no choice. And I think, like, if these companies understand that, and Aaron, you tell me if I'm wrong. Do you think that it's just like a marketing plan or a void from them to, like, okay, we're going to put out 65 of these figures to the Target store in New Hampshire, and we're going to make it so exclusive that, like, they're going to want more, or they're going to want us to re-release this? Like, what is their way of thought in this? Like,
I don't know, because I think you would sell more if you did the pre-orders versus letting it kind of go out into the masses. Like, the same thing with the G.I. Joe classified series, I don't understand why Hasbro has not just been like, you know what, we're going to take pre-orders, or you know what, we're going to just make sure that these figures are accessible to everyone. And I understand, it's kind of the thrill of the hunt. You want some sort of buzz, you want people talking about it. But the longer that this goes on with these figures, and it's more frustration. And like I told you last podcast, I'm not even searching for the classified series anymore. If I go and I see them, great. If I don't find them, oh well, because I was exhausting way too much energy just trying to find these in the stores and getting up every morning. And, it just got to the point where it's like, what the hell am I doing? And I feel like that's what's happening with Neca, is that like Neca is like sending out these exclusives or whatever, and nobody can get them. The scalpers are getting them, just like you said. They'll probably be at Target when it first opens up, or sneak in or do whatever, and then or get them the night before because they have a buddy that works there, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, they're gonna be $200 on eBay.
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny, man. I just read something that the G.I. Joe Classified series have been outselling like Star Wars and Marvel Legends. Like I mean, I didn't even know there was that many G.I. Joe fans out there. I mean, Star Wars has been around, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Star Wars has been around longer than G.I. Joe, or around the same time as G.I. Joe.
Yeah, Star Wars came out in the 70s and then 77. And so I think the early bird toys came out around that time. And then G.I. Joe was in like 82. I think the first G.I. Joe toy was released in like 82, 83. Well, no, the 3 3/4 inch G.I. Joe toy. I mean, like the 12-inch G.I. Joe has been around a lot longer than Star Wars. You had the 12-inch G.I. Joes in like the 50s and 60s. So, the 12-inch line for G.I. Joe was out a lot longer than Star Wars, but the 3 3, if you're talking about the 3 3/4 inch figures, they came out after the Star Wars figures.
Yeah, yeah, and like for me, when it comes to G.I. Joe and Aaron, I started dabbling a little bit into G.I. Joe myself, man. And you know me, I love my Turtles, I love my Ghostbusters, I love like obscure anthropomorphic, figures, food fighters, cowboys of Mumesa, like those weird kind of turtle knockoff toys. I love that stuff. But like, I really started getting into G.I. Joe because I started rewatching the old 80s cartoon show. And I was like, man, this is great. And I'm so happy that the flea market is about to open up, because you will see me just buying boxes of G.I. Joes if I find them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I am gonna get into collecting some G.I. Joes. Now, I don't know about like collecting every vehicle, because I don't know. And you tell me if I'm wrong, Aaron, but do you think that the vehicles take up more space than the figures themselves?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I got about I ordered them off a Facebook group. I got about 50 figure stands, and they're just little 3D printed circles with a little peg in them, but finding stands for those guys is kind of a pain in the ass unless you know somebody. I guess, well, it's not a pain in the ass, but if you want the official stands, they're these little square stands that, say G.I. Joe on them. You're going to pay like $5 a piece just for those stands because they came with the figures. But, so I ordered some of these, and I got a whole, I probably got, I don't know, I probably got 30, 40 figures downstairs now. And yeah, I mean, you could display 40 figures probably on a 2-foot square, 2 foot by 2 foot square. So yeah, but then you get to the vehicles take up the space, but yeah, I mean, it's again, I have a few vehicles, but it's kind of what was near and dear to my heart as a kid. And, we've talked about it in the past. If you want the USS flag, that's going to be a dining room table in most people's houses.
Yeah. Hey, Aaron, this is a great barbecue you have going on here. Where's your table? The buns and burgers are on top of the USS flag.
Yeah, exactly.
So just grab what you want from over there, man. Oh man, no, man. I really love G.I. Joe, and like I said, I've been getting into G.I. Joe and He-Man. So yeah, man, really looking forward to keep dabbling into those lines. And speaking of more figures on the news, what's going on with these Zack Snyder's Justice League figures? Now, I saw them and I was like, these look like Chinese knockoffs. Like they look like something that I ordered off the Wish app. It's like get all 8 figures for $8. That's a dollar a piece for each figure. Now, Aaron, did you see these figures, man?
I just Googled it as right before we were talking today, and I thought that Darkseid looked like a member of Kiss. I mean, like it just it looks weird, man. They look weird, but I mean, I think I just saw something. Are they being made by McFarlane?
I think they are, if I'm not mistaken.
So McFarlane has he did the Spawn. He does a lot of different toys. I think he does the current DC line. There's a lot of McFarlane exclusives in the new DC figure line that they're coming out with. So I think that's why he jumped on. But McFarlane does some pretty strange figures too. And so I think that maybe that's where they're trying to go. They're trying to kind of merge the two together. But yeah, it's they definitely look like a Wish version of normal figures. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I like Mike McFarlane, and the reason why there are adult collectibles is because of McFarlane. He started this whole adult collecting craze because for those that don't know, Tom McFarlane used to work for Marvel, and then he wrote some Spider-Man comics, drew on some Spider-Man stuff and a couple other issues, and then he stepped away from Marvel and he started his own company, and I forgot the name of the comic book company that he started. I think it was Image, if I'm not mistaken. And he took some of those other artists that were working for Marvel and they went with Todd, and they created Spawn, and then from Spawn the Spawn figures came out. Now, in that time, in the late 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, those Spawn figures were the first figures that were like done like very like articulated, sculpted very differently. Like we've never really seen something like that. And then this whole adult collecting craze started. So, I gotta give props to like McFarlane for starting all that. So
yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the pictures now, and some of the figures don't look bad. Like the black suit Superman, he looks all right. I didn't like the Flash's costume, in the movie anyways, so I think the Flash looks weird. Cyborg looks a little strange. Wonder Woman looks okay. Batman looks like he ate a couple too many burritos, but that's Ben Affleck's Batman, so, And then, Aquaman looks all right. I mean, I'm looking at kind of the lineup, but man, that Darkseid just looks freaking weird.
Yeah, man. And hey, this week, man, March 18th, Zack Snyder's Justice League, 4 hours long. Get your popcorn ready and your sleeping pills.
Jesus.
A 4 hour long movie, man. Aaron, are you gonna be dabbling into this Zack Snyder Justice League remake?
I mean, I probably will, but it'll probably take me 2 or 3 days to watch the damn movie. I'm not sitting I don't have time. Shit, I don't have time to sit through most things that are 4 hours long.
Yeah, man, and you know what? I'm gonna sit through it, and like you said, I don't think I'm gonna sit through the whole 4 hours, man. I mean, I mean, what is this? Titanic Part 2? I mean, this is too much, man. But yeah, I'm gonna watch it, and I'm pretty sure the internet's gonna be on an uproar like the next day, like making fun of it, and the DC fans. Listen, I'm gonna say something to all the audience out there, okay? I know this is big bickery between Marvel fans versus DC fans, and DC fans were getting on Twitter like, oh, Zack Snyder is going to save the DC universe by making this great film. You'll see, Marvel fans, he's going to make DC great again. And it's like, okay, is that the new slogan? Zack Snyder, make DC great again? Look, man, I like Batman. I think Batman for me is like what I love about him is that he's just a regular dude that had to train himself. Not a regular dude. Well, not too regular because he is a billionaire and he can come up with all these gadgets. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that he had to train himself and learn martial arts and he's a detective. I love Batman. Superman. I'm not a big fan of Superman, but like, Marvel, I love Marvel and I like DC. So, I'm happy for the DC fans that they're going to get their remake of Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, I mean, let's see what happens, man. I mean, Aaron, are you expecting anything out of this movie? Are you a DC fan or a Marvel fan?
I wouldn't say I'm a DC fan. I'm more of a Marvel fan. I mean, there's certain characters that I love in the DC universe. I'm a big Batman fan. I like a lot of the villains in the Batman series. But I would say I'm more of a Marvel fan than a DC fan. I'm not. I mean, I thought the other one was okay. I know that there was some issues and, he had to drop out. And, like I said, in the last podcast, when we were talking about this with, I'm glad that DC allowed him to come back and do it and, do it to the way he wanted to. And you know what? If it's good, great. If it sucks, whatever. At least he can close the chapter on his book. I think it was more of a personal journey for him, not so much as for the fans, but I hope that he did it, no pun intended, he did it justice, and and that he's happy with the end product, because ultimately it was supposed to be his project from the beginning.
Yeah, let's see what happens, man. I will be watching, so let's see what's going on with that. But hey, here's some video gaming news. Aaron, I don't know if you saw the trailer to this, but did you see the trailer for the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge game that's going to come out?
I did. I thought it looked amazing because it was that retro. It was based off of the 1980s cartoon. It had all the theme song. It had the artwork. It had everything. I thought it was fantastic. The only question that I have is right now, I believe it's only available on PC, and I guess there are plans for it to be released to consoles, but it's unclear when. Because I would love to play this on like the Switch with my son or PS4, PS5, as a digital download. I think they're going that way, but I don't know how long it's going to take before it releases on the consoles.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy, Aaron? I think me and you one time had a conversation. We were talking about Turtles in Time, and I was just like, why can't they make another video game that looks exactly with the same pixel art? Just make it like a prequel or something to Turtles in Time. And I thought that would never in a million years happen. And like last week, somebody sends me a text like, "Hey, Steve, have you seen this?" And I was like, what is going on right now? Did the turtle gods hear my conversation with Aaron? And I saw the gameplay and like that intro, that cinematic computer CG intro. Yeah. Wow. Somebody needs to make a cartoon out of that. The way that looked, like with the old turtle designs, and it's 4 players. It's called Shredder's Revenge, and it has that Turtles in Time look. And from what I'm hearing is that the developers, they wanted this to be sort of like a homage / prequel to Turtles in Time. Right. And man, they did a good job. And as far as being released just on PC, Aaron, I did hear, like you said, that they are going to release it on gaming consoles like the Switch and the PS4. Now, the thing is that I know that there's a company called Limited Run Games. Have you heard of Limited Run Games, Aaron?
Yeah, and I don't own any of those games, but I really hope they don't go that way. I really hope it's just like a digital download, and you can download it and be like, all right, cool. I don't want it to be a limited run game, even though it probably, will be picked up by somebody like that, because like those games go for just stupid money. They sell out in minutes, kind of like everything that we're dealing with now.
Yeah. So hopefully, if it's a download, I would love a physical copy. So if Limited Run does do a physical copy like they usually do. By the way, this company did do the Streets of Rage 4. Okay. So it's the same company that did Streets of Rage 4. They're doing the Turtles in Time. So
nice.
Man, I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm gonna grab my pizza with anchovies and ice cream and do it up the turtle way. Put some gummy worms on that pizza, and like have a good time and play this game. But all right, let's get to entertainment news. And all right, Aaron, you know that our podcast is about pop culture, toys, everything, comics, movies. Let's talk about cancel culture. And there's been a lot of things going on with cancel culture. Okay. Now, Aaron, have you heard of the term called pandering cancel culture?
Yes, yeah, I've heard it. It's definitely an interesting concept.
All right, here's the thing. Us growing up in the 90s and in the 80s, we grew up with a lot of these properties, a lot of these cartoons, a lot of these movies where, people didn't make a big deal out of certain things, whether it was, gender related, racial related. It wasn't such a big deal back then. Now, actually, let me correct myself. Not that it wasn't a big deal. People just didn't air it out, to the masses like that.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up now, there's this cancel culture where I don't understand, where people just want to cancel everything. Everything is wrong. This director did this. Let's talk about Space Jam 2.
Mm-hmm.
Space Jam 2 was on the news. Space Jam 2 is coming out starring LeBron James. The original was with Michael Jordan. Classic movie. We all saw it as kids. It was amazing. And Pepe Le Pew, there was a scene with Pepe Le Pew where Pepe Le Pew was trying to, get the attention of a female character. And he takes his hand and places it on her hand. And she's like, stop that. I don't like that, whatever. And LeBron James, apparently in the scene, LeBron James was like, hey, man, you can't do that. And he spins his chair, Pepe Le Pew's chair around. And Pepe Le Pew looks at the camera and goes, well, I guess that's why I got a restraining order.
Oh.
Yeah, I read that online and I was like, huh. Long story short, Warner Brothers, who, owns all these Looney Tunes cartoons, they decided to, hey, we need to cancel this out. This is not a funny joke. Long story short, they're going to cancel Pepe Le Pew. And when I mean cancel him, I'm be like, there's not going to be anything else made of Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah.
Now, here's my thing. Aaron, we all know that Pepe Le Pew's a skunk. He falls in love with these women. He's, can I say the term aggressive towards these women? I mean, like, yeah. I think there's this thing where people are saying that it's just too rapey. Pepe Le Pew is too rapey towards these characters. And my whole thing is, you're going to cancel a character in history, forever. Why can't you just, like, change his character around? Make him different.
Yeah.
Make him different. I mean, what do you think about all this, Aaron?
I mean, Pepe Le Pew, first of all, if you ever watched any of the old cartoons, a lot of the times he's a skunk, yes. And all the time, it's a cat. It's a black cat that somehow gets a white stripe painted on the cat. And then he believes that the cat is a female skunk, and so he's trying to chase after her and profess his love to her because he's a little French skunk that wants to love and be loved and whatever. And the cat is running away from him not because he's being aggressive, sexually or whatever, running away from him because it's a cat. And it's a skunk, and that's kind of the whole thing. It's two different things. Now, does Pepe Le Pew, I guess, does do some things that don't give consent? Sure, but it's a cartoon. Like, I don't understand the cancel culture of, certain things, and I can understand that line, like with LeBron and Space Jam 2, that as soon as you said it, I was like, kind of like, oh, that's not, you know, a good line to be in a movie, you know. So like I can understand maybe while they relook at it, maybe have him in the movie, but maybe not have him do anything egregious. I don't know. It just, there's so much stuff today that's like, oh, this is getting canceled. This is getting canceled. Well, we're going to cancel this. You know, I want to bring up the Mr. Potato Head debacle. You know, like, I don't understand why we have to talk about the gender of Mr. Potato Head. So I guess there's no longer going to be a Mr. Potato Head and a Mrs. Potato Head. It's just going to be called Potato Head.
All right. Okay, Aaron, I'm glad that you're like, because my little brother was talking to me about this the other day, and like I mean, like, okay, was there like an uproar on the internet with like just people? Like, I don't understand this. Like,
I don't understand it either, because like, even, okay, let's say you took 1,000 potato head parts, boy, girl, whatever. Now, when I say boy, girl, I mean like ears with earrings, or bows, or the eyes with eyelashes, or the eyes without eyelashes. Like, if you just took all the parts and threw them in a thing together and then put a potato head together, you could make a potato head look like whatever you wanted to. There was no gender. You couldn't put a penis on the potato head or a vagina on the potato head.
Right,
you know,
right.
like it was just a potato head, you know, but you did have a gender of Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. Well, now they're saying is because there's no gender identity on the potato head, that they're just going to call it Potato Head.
Okay. All right. Here's my thing. Like, I get it. We're living in different times, and you know. Now, did Mattel do Mr. Potato Head, or was that Hasbro?
No, I believe it was Mattel.
I think it was Mattel. Like, look, I get it. We're living in different times, and I think a lot of these big time companies like Mattel, they're like, look, we need to change things around. You know, we can't have a Mr. or Mrs. There shouldn't be no gender. It should be gender neutral. Because, like, I know that there are, you know, people out there that don't like to be called, like, he or she, you know, it's gender neutral, plural pronouns, you know, this, all these things. And, you know, my whole thing is just like, okay, like, we grew up with these toys like this. Like, I don't see it as a bad thing. Now, again, this is my opinion for those listening right now. I don't see it as a bad thing of having a Mr. and a Mrs. And I get that we're living in different times, but like when you have a company like Mattel, you know, literally just rebrand the whole thing. I mean, what if it wasn't a Mr. Potato Head? It could have been Mr. Carrot, or you know, like,
yeah,
Mr.
so
Letters.
It is Hasbro, so I just kind of Googled it just to make sure that we're clear. It's Hasbro. And basically they're dropping the Mr. You know, it's setting a new standard. I guess an LGBTQ advocacy group applauded the genderless toy potato. You know, it says, quote, Hasbro is helping kids simply see toys as toys, which encourages them to be their authentic selves outside of the pressures of traditional gender norms, end quote. So, like, I mean, I get it. But at the same time, when I played with the potato head, I don't think I ever called it Mr. Potato Head. I called it Potato Head. So it doesn't really matter to me. And like, you know, okay, I put girl eyes or girl earrings and I gave it a mustache. I just don't understand why these lines have to be drawn, you know, so like in the sand. Like, it to me, I guess I understand it. You don't want to put gender norms on a kid, and I think that's why they're trying to change as much as this stuff as they can, and I get it. Like, I think they're trying to say, like, you know, like, because, you know, I teach women's self-defense, and, you know, I want to kind of get into this, and, you know,
Nice.
when you see two little boys playing, you know, war together, you know, what do you say? Oh, that's just boys being boys, right? If you saw two little girls playing war together, a lot of times that gets stopped because why? Because they say that's not ladylike, right?
Right.
So I understand gender norms, and I understand that. And so, like, I guess I kind of understand the potato head thing, but like, as I guess as a kid, I never really, thought like, oh, well, I can't put this on the potato head because it's a boy potato head, and I can't put this on a girl potato head because it's a potato head. No, like when you went to go dig in the bucket of parts, you had boy and girl toys, parts in those, in that bucket, and you just made a potato head.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. Like, I mean, like, it's great to hear that because, like, especially since you teach women self-defense, and that's awesome, Aaron. Like, I just found something out that I didn't even know. Aaron's gonna be my sensei, my master splinter. So, no, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, like, I'm all for the LGBTQ community. I have friends that are, part of the community, and I love them with all my heart, all of them, so, I mean, if this is the state that we're living on, then this is the state that we're living on. And going back to cancel culture, like, also, like, Lola Bunny was redesigned for Space Jam 2, because in the first one, I guess they said that her boobs and butt were too big and she was over sexualized, that now they just made her, no pun intended, just flat. So
yeah, and
no curves.
Again, I when you watch the original Space Jam and you see Bugs Bunny, see Lola Bunny, but first and foremost, Lola Bunny was the star of the basketball team. Right. Like she was the only one that could play basketball and keep up with Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? So like when as sexualized as she was in the movie, she was the best athlete out of the Looney Tunes in the movie. Right. So, like, I feel like people forget that part. You know what I mean? So, like, I think there was some Jessica Rabbit vibes going on there, with Lola Bunny. But I mean, again, think about how popular Jessica Rabbit was, and like, think how popular Lola Bunny was when that movie came out. And then now all of a sudden it's like, well, almost like the inner feminist in me, I guess. Like, we're getting political. I don't want to get political, but like it is what it is, right? And I guess it's like, well, so are you saying that you can't be a good-looking woman and be good at basketball? And then I don't know, like, so, but I understand, like I understand why they're trying to change it. I understand, like, I get it, but like, I don't know, like, and maybe I'm overstepping my bounds. I don't want to offend anybody. I just don't understand why every time they do this, it's like it gets backpedaled. You know what I mean? Like, because I guess like, the kind of, why can't you just leave stuff alone? But I know that like you said, in this day and age, there's so many things that are, I guess, quote unquote, offensive to different people, like the Dr. Seuss thing. And we'll kind of jump into that real quick.
Yeah.
I understand that. I mean, first of all, there were the 5 books that I don't think I ever read as a kid. And it wasn't.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Because like, I haven't really like explore the whole history about that yet, and I'm trying to learn more about this whole Dr. Seuss thing, because I guess like the estate of the Dr. Seuss, like the family, right, they were like, okay, you know what, let's just get rid of these books, right. They were like, this is causing a whole uproar, but what were these books?
It wasn't causing an uproar. They did this preemptively, so nobody had said, I want these books canceled. Okay. Nobody had said, like, it was the decision of the estate to say, you know what, we don't want these books in publication anymore because of the depictions that they depict either minorities, Asian, in Asian cultures. So like, they were just like, you know what, we don't want to publish these books anymore. So that was their decision, and because they made that decision, it just blew up. Like, I don't know, like, it was talking about, like, how, I guess there was some Asian individuals drawn weird. I think there were some minority individuals drawn strangely, and it was just more like, okay, well, we're going to cancel these books because we don't want these books in publication anymore going forward, because of this type of depiction of the individuals. Kind of like like when Land O'Lakes decided to get rid of the Indian as their logo, or like Aunt Jemima, they decided to get rid of Aunt Jemima.
So did you hear the whole? Did you hear the whole joke about the Land O'Lakes thing?
Yeah, they got rid of the Indian, but they kept the land.
Yeah, it's like, all right.
And that's a big ouch, by the way. I mean, like, please don't, like, I don't have that feeling, like it's a messed up, but yeah, but Land O'Lakes, it's funny because I was actually talking to my wife about this yesterday. Land O'Lakes is a real place. Like, it's Land O'Lakes, Florida.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and so I believe that's where this company was started from. So like it's a name of a real place. It's not like just Land O'Lakes, like kind of like
Okay.
But yeah, so I don't know. The whole thing is it's really interesting. I guess I understand certain aspects of it, but I just feel like when is enough? Not when is enough. No, I don't want to say that. It's like when I guess where does this stop? Can you no longer have a Barbie doll? Can you no longer have a GI Joe doll? Are you just gonna have a doll that has boy and girl clothing in it? Like you can't call I don't know. Like I guess where does the, especially with the potato head thing. I mean, okay, it's called potato head, and are they going to make a potato head with boy, potato head parts and girl potato head parts and put them together? Because that seems like the way it's going.
Yeah, and listen, man, wow. We're getting political on this episode. Cereal Box Price Podcast. Can I just say this disclaimer? The views and opinions on the host are not, like, listen, guys, like these are just me and Aaron's opinions, and I want everybody to know listening that, we give support to every community out there.
Absolutely.
We support every community, whether you're, in the LGBTQ community, I have Native American friends too. I just want to say that we support all you guys, man, and we stand for what we stand for. And the only reason why we're bringing up these issues is because it is part of pop culture. This is stuff that's going on the news right now. This is part of pop culture. Things that we like and things are changing. They're not the same anymore. And listen. We're not here to talk about our religious views or anything like that, but these are topics that I want to bring up with you guys and Aaron because it's on the news, and sometimes it's good to talk about these things. And I don't know, I just feel like with cancel culture, same thing with Gianna Carallo with the whole Star Wars thing and just everything that's going on. And I think there's gonna be a big change with toy companies, movies, like there's gonna be a lot of thought going into a lot of these properties, man, when things are getting released.
So yes, and let me say that too. I support the LGBTQ community. I support all the communities, all the activists. I want equal rights. I want all that stuff. I think that being being in Steve and I were born in the 70s and 80s, and I guess there wasn't as much of a cancel culture as there is today. So I think both Steve and I, sure, we have our opinions, but I think also we're trying to learn more. We're trying to learn, why kind of these changes are being made, because, not that it really affects anything in our childhood, but it's just more curiosity. And so it's just interesting, but I get it because I was watching Bill and Ted yesterday. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Okay.
Great movie, right?
Yes.
There is one part though that I cringed at, and I'm like, ooh, why would they do that? Why is that even in the movie? So at the part where they go to the medieval times and they become knights and they become whatever, Ted falls down the stairs Yeah, Ted falls down the stairs. He gets stabbed. Bill thinks he's dead. They figure out that he's not. He rolled out of the armor in time, whatever. They give each other a hug, and then they say a very homosexual derogatory term. I'm not going to say it. It starts with a F. I don't agree with this term. Yeah. And I was like, what? I'd never noticed that in the Bill and Ted movie. And I was like, why is that in there? And it was just such a weird thing to be in the movie. And then I Googled it afterwards, and people are like, yeah, this one part in Bill and Ted, like I refuse to watch Bill and Ted because of this one part. And I was like, you know what? Like, I get it. I understand it. So like, I understand that aspect of cancel culture where like it could just be one little thing in a movie or one part in a TV show, and it's like, you know what? I don't want to watch it anymore. And it really kind of was like, wow, it opened my eyes to something that like in the 80s when this movie was produced, that probably was commonplace to maybe throw this term around or whatever, but like now it's like unacceptable, so I get it.
Yeah, you cannot get away with that nowadays. Things are not the same, and it's funny because I remember watching a cartoon. It was a foghorn leghorn, that giant chicken. Yeah, and I remember this cartoon, and he was taking care of that little child chicken, but it was like a nerdy kind of chicken with like the big glasses, whatever. Right. And he was trying to hook up with the mother of this kid, and the mother's like, hey, listen, take care of my kid and I'll be back. So he's trying to impress her, and he's like, come on, boy, let's go play some baseball, right? And he's like throwing the baseball at the kid, and the kid's not swinging. He's like, come on, boy, you gotta swing, right? So when he throws the ball, like, he's still not swinging. So Foghorn goes up to the kid and he goes, what's the matter with you, boy? Are you one of these? And he just shakes his right hand. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, did I just see something from a 1950s cartoon show where he's literally putting like, a derogatory kind of statement out there? Right. And again, I can see how that would bother somebody, and again, having friends, that are in that community and they're great friends of mine, like, and again, we're going to say this again, me and Aaron support everybody. Mm-hmm. These are just things we're talking about because, there's pop culture. It's part of entertainment. But I can definitely see that, Aaron, man, how different that could have been.
Yeah. And you know what? I think, I speak for both of us when it's just like, I think we just want to learn more about it, like learn more about the cancel culture and why, and I guess kind of the stuff behind it, because, to me, it's interesting. And, I guess, the first and foremost, being educated about a topic is the most important, right? And I think a lot of times having conversations, with people that are affected by this stuff is probably that's where the most fruition comes from, right? Because when you have conversations and you can see somebody else's point of view, then you kind of have that meet in the middle moment where you have that aha moment of, okay, I can see why this can be offensive to you.
Yeah. Wow, man, we just went on this whole cancel culture political talk, man. And again, Cereal Box Prize, we don't really do a lot of political talk, man. But hey, don't forget Biden 2025. No, just kidding. But yeah, man, it's just, and like you said, Aaron, these are just things that it's good to learn about, and just keep an eye out for things that are going on, and the entertainment and pop culture, and just worldly news. Before we finish up the show, two things. Coming to America 2. Let's get back to some news, let's make you happy one more time. Aaron, did you see Coming to America 2?
I haven't watched it yet, no.
Have you seen the first one?
Yes.
Okay, let me just say this. What the hell was going on in part 2?
I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. You tell me.
I will say this. Okay, Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall, they are on point. They come back. By the way, they bring everybody back from the original movie. Everybody's back. Awesome. Louis Anderson is back. I couldn't believe he was back. All the characters that we remember are back, man. And the thing is that, like, again, Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall did a great job coming back as their characters. I just feel like the writing felt really flat. And if you guys haven't seen it, I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys, but the whole plot is that, Eddie Murphy doesn't have a son. He has 3 daughters, and he needs a son to take over his throne. Wesley Snipes is in the movie. He does a great job acting. And Wesley Snipes is telling Eddie Murphy, like, listen, I want somebody to marry my daughter. Do you have somebody? And he doesn't have a son. And Wesley Snipes is making fun of him. Well, how can you have somebody take care of your throne if you're dead? And, you don't have a masculine person or a man to take over it for you. And Arsenio Hall ends up telling Eddie Murphy that he does have a son. Now, here's the thing, is that Leslie Jones is in the film, and apparently Eddie Murphy in the movie had a son with Leslie Jones. I won't reveal how that happened, but I'll let you guys watch the movie. In my opinion, I'll give the movie, out of 100, I'll give it like a 75%, maybe like a 70. Again, like, a lot of the jokes felt flat. To me, Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall, they were amazing. They did a great job. What was it? McDowell's. They got the whole McDowell's joke, and now McDowell's is all over the world. It's in Africa now. So it's great, man. Like all the characters came back. I just feel like the jokes just fell flat. Like, I wasn't laughing as much at all the parts. But I mean, I haven't seen Bill and Ted's new movie. Did you see the new Bill and Ted, Aaron?
No, I haven't watched that one either. That I haven't really kind of been, drawn into to watch some of these like newer movies, these newer reboots, I like, my wife has Amazon Prime. I know the coming to America was yeah, which I was like, why couldn't I don't know, like, I thought about that, and I was like, that to have the same title, just like with a pun, instead of Coming to America, it's Coming to America. like I mean, you couldn't have thought of anything more original than that. Like, I don't know, it's like. And then, the new Bill and Ted movie, I mean, it didn't do that well. But no, I haven't watched it. I don't know. It's just, there hasn't been really anything that's like, well, I gotta watch this. Like, I think the last one that I'm trying to think of, like, the last movie that like came out that was like, I have to watch this. I don't even know. I mean, but obviously we're living in a time of COVID. We're living in a time where movies are being produced, when they can and as safely as they can, and it's just a different time. And so I think that, and it's weird. We've talked about this before with movie theaters not being open and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think that it's just, hopefully something comes out soon that I'm like, okay, I gotta watch this.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Oh,
but yeah,
the King Kong versus Godzilla.
Ooh,
when that comes out, I think that's gonna be one that I'm gonna be like, all right.
I think me and you are both really excited for Godzilla and Kong and the Mortal Kombat movie coming out in April.
Yes.
Those are 2 films that I'm really excited about, and I can't wait. But for those that are gonna watch Coming to America, again, these are just my opinions on the film. Some people might like it, some people might not. Again, I'm just giving my opinion, but check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. If you have a Prime account, you can watch it there for free. And a little bit of sad news, and I don't want to end the podcast with this, but we have to pay respect to this man, Lou Autens. Aaron, do you know who Lou Autens is?
I don't, unfortunately.
So Lou Autens was the inventor of the cassette tape, and he died last week at the age of 94. In 1960, he led a team that developed the initial portable tape recorder. He then introduced the first cassette tape at a Berlin Electronics Fair 3 years later. The slogan back then, smaller than a pack of cigarettes. So he invented the cassette tape, and the slogan was, it's smaller than a pack of cigarettes, which it really, really is. And this man changed history, man, because, we had 8-track, we had vinyl, and, he created the cassette tape, man. And come on, man. Who has not had a cassette tape? I think a lot of people all over the world has had cassette tapes, man. And this man, like, literally changed the electronics game forever, man.
Yeah, and I would say the people born after the year 2000 probably don't have a cassette tape.
Yeah. I mean, if you were born after the 90s, man, you're probably growing up with MP3s and
CD players and all that other stuff. So, but if you're a child of the 80s, you had cassettes.
Yeah. And the thing is that, like, the portable tape quickly took over, man, because you got to understand that people had home decks, which gave way to boom boxes, and people had in-dash car models. So it's like it really changed the way. Not only that, but you can record on it. I remember like hitting play and record at the same time when you're listening to your favorite radio song and making those mixtapes, your own mixtapes. Here's DJ Aaron in the morning.
Yeah, buddy. I remember making but you had to call into the radio station to request a song. Then you had to wait like 2 hours, and then, all right, here's the request from Steve going out, and it's like, yeah, like we got to press record right away.
Yeah, definitely, man. It was great, man. So, I just want to say, bring that out there that, we have to recognize this man. This is somebody in pop culture that he changed the electronics game, and again, if you were born in the 80s and you lived through the 90s, most likely you had a cassette tape, and, we had to pay respect to this man. So Lou Autens, like, I salute you, sir. Thank you for contributing, what you did, to all of us with this compact cassette tape, man, and it's smaller than a pack of cigarettes. But yeah, man, wow. We just, my goal today was I wanted to bring something out to the audiences, man. And Aaron, our last podcast got a lot of comments, and there was this one fan who really loved it, man. And we kept going back and forth commenting, and I don't know if you saw the comments to our Pokemon segment that we did when you were explaining everything. Yeah. But yeah, man, this one fan, this one listener was like, man, you guys gave us a college course on Pokemon card trading. And he gave us a good review, man. He liked it. And you know what? It was happy, man. Like it brought a good thing to my heart that, it's almost going to come a year of us doing this. And there are actually people out there listening to this, man. Yeah, man. Somebody was commenting back and forth with me, and he was loving the show, man. And it's like, I know as for us, we wake up and, we woke up today. It's like right out of bed. All right, let's podcast. Let's see if we have the energy to do this, man. But, we're doing it and we love it. And, I just want to say thank you for those that are listening and, that are commenting. And me and Aaron, we greatly appreciate it, man. So thank you, everybody, man.
Definitely. And, if you want to hear something, or if you want to discuss something, or if you just want to educate us on something, please comment. We like interacting with everybody. We want to get more of those types of interactive things going on in the future. So like if you want to talk to us, message us, you know where to find us. YouTube, Anchor FM. Steve will do his spiel in a second here where he'll get tongue tied just like a Cereal Box Prize podcast. You can find us at but definitely the more interaction we get, that user that commented and was commenting back and forth with you. I texted Steve. I said, that's the kind of traction that we want. That's the kind of traction that we need. Just getting those comments, those likes, the views. So, if you like it, great. Just give us a comment, leave us a like. If you want us to discuss something in the next podcast, let us know.
Yes, and with that, like Aaron said, I'm going to say my spiel. So follow us on Facebook at Cereal Box Prize Podcast. Don't forget to also like and subscribe to us on YouTube. That's Cereal Box Prize Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Zero Box Prize Podcast. Also, Anchor.fm, Zero Box Prize Podcast. And 2021 is going to be different, guys. And before we sign out, there's going to be changes to the YouTube channel. So we're going to just start doing video cast. So the YouTube channel is just going to be us in video. It's going to be more highly edited. YouTube's going to be for that. So if you want to see the podcast, the video version of it with like, you know, all the effects and everything, you can go on YouTube and watch it there. If you want to listen to the audio portion of it, go on Anchor.fm. So we are working on that right now. There's going to be changes because Aaron brought up a good point. There are more people that actually like watching, you know, us on video. Two grown ass men talking about toys. People love that for some odd reason. I mean, I do the same thing too. Watch other people talk about toys. So the YouTube channel is going to be going through some changes, and Anchor.fm, follow us there for the audio. And I will be taking some toy pictures and posting them up on Instagram. So yes,
nice.
Follow us on all those guys. And with that, Aaron's wearing a flea market fresh t-shirt that I just noticed, which is awesome. I'm loving that. I need to get me one of those for the flea market, but we will be wearing our Technodrome shirts as soon as the flea market opens.
Yeah, I gotta lose some weight. It was a little tight.
But with that, thank you guys. Thank you to listening. Aaron, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Nah, man, everything's great. Stay safe. Wear your mask. You know, and I could do like the Price is Right and then spay and neuter your cats and dogs. No, just stay safe. You know, we're getting through this. We're almost there. I think that, you know, in a couple more months, you know, we'll be back to normal, you know, hopefully by at least, you know, August or September, but just do your part. You know, we'll get through this. We've gotten through a year of this so far, and let's just keep on going. And happy hunting for all you toy hunters out there. Don't get discouraged, and just keep on keeping on.
Yes. And with that, we are out.